Welcome to Youth Alive podcast, where we dive into matters that affect the youth in our world today. My name is Joshua. Today, we'll be focusing on the topic of dating in a digital era. With me are my co-hosts. I'll allow them to introduce themselves. Kindly introduce yourself.
Hi guys, my name is Lucia. I'm very excited for this episode. Stay tuned and I'm sure you're going to learn about something today.
Hi guys, my name is Kasten Hesbon and I'm privileged to be here today for this podcast. And we believe that it's going to be a success and we'll be able to share a lot. Yeah, that's all.
All right, so our topic for today is dating in a digital era. We're going to look at the red flags, the green flags of dating. I know that it's been a topic that has been long awaited, a youthful topic where the youth gets energetic, vibrant with this topic. All right, I'll allow my co-host, Lucia, to lead us through. All right, take us through, Lucia.
Thank you very much, Joshua. The first topic we're going to start with is social media versus reality. And we're going to talk about the pressure of the picture perfect couples that we see online. So in this age of social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, we usually see a lot of couples sparking, let me say, for lack of a better word, they spark like unrealistic standards. And some people, they want to be like that, not knowing that they only choose to show you the parts they want to show you. And you're not seeing that part. So you feel like your relationship is supposed to be perfect and flawless as theirs, but they don't show you that part. So like you feel like you start getting
One of the things I've realized is that not only even social media, but even films and films and programs and soaps, they actually like program you on how you expect your relationship to be like, isn't it? You find that people expect their partner to behave in such and such a way, but actually those are not the reality. That's actually not a reality. That's just an image that has been programmed into us, right? And actually it leads to very toxic relationships. You realize that even for this actually falls mostly on the, let me say, ladies, right? But actually they expect your boyfriend to behave like Alejandro, right? Or like like Alejandro, or like this guy, or like this, isn't it? But actually that's not reality. I can actually say, but before I actually say what's the reality, let me allow Kasten to tell us something on that.
Yeah, thank you for giving me this opportunity. And in fact, for what you guys are talking about, actually, nowadays, people focus more on social media. See, we shall see some good posts of people posting things about their relationship, and then because you have a relationship there, you also wish that your relationship will actually be the same as to the other person's relationship. You see, that is now whereby we have problems in our current relationship. Because let me give you an example of like you talk of soap and film and all. You will see somebody, Alejandro is being the best man, you see. But despite of Alejandro being the best man, I mean, you see that character in Alejandro there, or Pedro, you know them by names,
Especially Pedro.
Yeah. You know them by names, So there is a way that your girl will be giving you pressure. You see, even like why can't you love me the way so and so loves the other? You see, I mean, you guys will end up ruining your relationship. At the end of the day, this guy will be like, you know what? I feel like I'm under pressure. You see, I can't actually do what you did. You expect me to have another person's personality. You see, and it may actually lead to a toxic relationship. You see, so actually, these are the things I see they use actually affecting in the relationships, whereby they're trying to copy other people's way of life and other people's relationship. So they are trying to copy it and make others' relationship like theirs. You see, which actually can't make a relationship work. Yeah.
I feel like this, the generation that we grew up in, ah, let me just say it. Like, I feel like the soap operas we've been watching,
Yeah.
it made us very delusional.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because let's say from a young age, you watch the soap operas and you're like, I want my man to be like this. I want my man to buy me a mansion and a horse and a ranch. You know, that's the social media, the soap operas we've been watching.
Yeah, sure.
And then now when you get to the dating space, they're like,
It's
it's
no
not
bad.
like it's not like the one for
Things are becoming
soap operas.
different,
No,
yeah.
me cannot. You
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
we enter sometimes we enter relationships with a lot of unrealistic expectations, and when the expectations are not being met, we feel dissatisfied and we feel like we cannot continue like with that relationship. So I feel like we should know what like, let's say, like, what is God saying, like how is
True.
love supposed to be.
True.
So like if we know how love is supposed to be, then I don't think the space of being delusional is going to be there. Yeah, so I feel like this social media thing and the soap operas, I think from the time we were young till now, when we were young it was soap
It's even
operas.
getting worse.
Now that we are big, it's more of social media
Yeah.
and the pressures and
Post on
everything.
Instagram,
Yeah.
you know,
Actually, you realize they are social media couples. You can get like their accounts who have like couples, and the only content they are posting is just the couples, their coupling kind of content, right? Their lifestyle as a couple, right? So people like think that's the reality, but actually that's not the reality, isn't it?
Yeah.
And actually, you know, this thing about social media, it actually programs your mind unknowingly. You know, let me not say this, but allow me to say this. For children, when a child watches them, what is this called? Something like
Let's talk of Kim Jong,
Cocomelon.
Cocomelon, yeah.
Okay, there's this Mexican cartoon. It's Ukrainian, not cartoon. I'm trying to remember. But actually, you find kids behaving sometimes the way those things,
Yeah.
those.
They actually portraying
The
such
character,
characters
yeah.
that they- yeah.
Actually, I'm trying to remember the name, but I'm not remembering.
There you go.
It actually happens the same way for matured people and even youthful people in their relation. They actually what they actually watch and listen, the programs, everything. You actually find yourself inadvertently acting it out,
Yeah,
or unapata you find that someone is they're having issues with their couple, with their partner. They expect the partner to like do the way Alejandro used to do, you know,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. And there's something you've mentioned, Carsten. It's someone expects you to have a character, a personality that actually it's not yours.
It's not yours, yeah.
It's not yours.
And
So you feel the pressure. You feel
exactly.
you should do this and this,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And actually, you end up being tired. You end up
Yeah,
being
true.
worn out,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
You feel like this won't work for me.
Yeah.
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 And
That thing that you're talking about. You see, most of the time when people are dating, the way you say like character, some men they want to be like what you look for in a person. Me,
Yeah,
when
sure.
someone asks me like, what do I look for in a man? I don't answer that question, because let's say I want someone who is caring, someone who is loving, someone who is a provider and everything. That person might want to be the way I've described like my ideal person to be. So like if it's like that, during the first few months, the guy will behave like the way you described your person to be.
Yeah.
And after they get you, they're like, now they change because they've already shown you what they wanted you to see. But now that you've gotten into that relationship, they now change.
They now
So
change,
me,
yeah.
actually what I look for in a person, because I know that person will be like person, and I'm not going to see like the because you're going to something that you're not.
It's like this example they usually give. They say that you find people, they live together before marriage, right? They said they stayed together like for months until they want to find out the character of this person, right? If this person can be a good husband, if they can but even if they stay like even 8 months together and then they get into like marriage, they realize that person flipped the character.
People
Isn't
change.
it?
People change.
People change.
People change.
You might even actually live with that person, like you wake up with that person, and then after marriage that person flips.
Exactly. And there's something of you guys I want to mention. There's this thing called let me call it impartation by association. You know, I'll refer to ladies. There are these girls who are like, oh, my man does this for me. You know, yeah, my man does this for me. You doesn't do this for you. I mean, no. I mean, you know, I mean, they give you a different picture of their love life. You see, which actually makes you give pressure to your man, or I mean, which adds pressure to your relationship. You see, because they are feeding your mind with a lot of information, which will make you ask yourself, like, am I really in the right relationship? You see, I mean, do I really deserve what I deserve? Because these guys are getting better. I mean, they're having, I mean, they're experiencing like they're having a good relationship as compared to me. You see, I mean, why am I still in this relationship? And actually, that actually brings a problem in others' relationship. All because of you hearing from your friends. It's not bad to hear from your friends. Yeah,
You want an
they should
iPhone.
give you advice, but at some point, man, you know,
Your friend has told you, my boyfriend got me an iPhone.
exactly. And then you're like, oh, an iPhone, and then you're looking at the situation you are in. You're like, nah, I'm not in the right relationship.
Yeah.
And you know, now when you're talking about this pressure thing, you know, some people just want to set like standards. Like
Yeah,
someone tells
exactly.
you, like,
yeah, sure.
the man has bought them an iPhone. You see, book. I'm not. It might sound like
It's a, yeah, sure.
reality.
Yeah, reality. Yeah.
I wanna say like the man rose money and everything, and you're like, eh, God when. But in the end, like that person is the one who has bought themselves.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then the
Pressure.
yeah, and then now people start feeling like your man is hiding, and they go and steal your man. And when they steal your man, they find out that that's the man that has been providing
Yeah.
unrealistic expectations.
And actually, there's something Lucia has mentioned that's very important. And before we mention it, kindly share on TikTok, share on Facebook, on all our platforms. So, all right, something Lucia has mentioned that is very important. What's the reality? Unaona, we may talk about social media expectation. We may talk about social media expectation, but one of the things we realize that we cannot evade social media. It's part of our lives, right? Iko hapo, it's there to stay. It's our life, right? So what's the reality? What do we do? And she has mentioned something very important. What is God saying? That's actually what's the reality. What is God saying? Isn't it? Number one, God says, another thing, what God says in marriage, the husband should love the wife as Christ loved the church, isn't it? It says, wives, submit to your husbands, right? It's actually the word of God. That's actually the reality. So we don't want to be in a point where we are talking about a problem and we are not giving the solution. That's how.
Sure.
Okay, actually the solution is the word of God. What is God saying? What is God saying? And you cannot know what God is saying without being in the place where God is saying, right? That's why youth should come to church, hear the word of God, right? It actually helps you it formats, it fashions your mind. The Bible says, do not conform to this world, right? Do not conform to the image of this world. Yeah. but let your mind be transformed. Let your mind be transformed and renewed according to the word of God. I think it's Romans 12 verse 1. Sasa.
Yeah.
All right. Cast and Twambe, something about what's the reality.
Okay. First of all, we were saying that we are really being influenced by social media. You see, you look at what others are doing, you also want to do it. Before you actually get into a relationship, you should be able to understand your partner. You see, you should be able to understand your partner's language. You see, because you can't. I can't compare myself with another man. Whatever another man can do is not what I can do. You see, yeah. Whatever another man can do is not what I can do. Whatever another woman is doing is not what my woman can do. You see, so we should be able to understand each other. And another thing is that you should be actually in a state whereby you're willing to accept the way your relationship is. You see, don't expect to be. You're in a relationship and you guys, like, let me say, you're not stable enough. You see, you guys don't have enough finances. You see, and then you expect, like, people have couple goals. You see, you're like, by the end of this time, we should have achieved this. You see, at some point in life, actually, you guys might end up not achieving it. Let me say, if you put a period of, let me say, 4 months, we are now supposed to have bought a car by the end of 4 months. You see, or a house and so on. Simply because you saw another couple doing this. You see, but then it fails to happen, and then the man is the provider as well. So for some women, not all, for some ladies or some women, they'll be like, I have a man who can't even provide a car. I have a man who can't even provide a house by the end of this time. What is the salary? What is the salary that, what is your man bringing on the table? You see, is it able to make you guys accommodate what you want? Achieve what you want. You see, so actually, you should be able to understand each other. That is all I can say. You should be able to understand each other so that you guys cannot have conflicts and so on when it comes to,
something actually I've realized. I was talking actually to someone and we mentioned it. People don't realize that dating is not the same as marriage. Some people treat their boyfriends or girlfriend as their wife. Your girlfriend is not your wife. Your boyfriend is not your husband.
Exactly.
Right? You're going to wash their clothes, their utensils, right? Or as a guy, you're providing food or rent for the girl.
Parents as well.
Yeah, she has parents. She should be nini. And actually, that's the point where heartbreak starts, right? From that point. So we should actually realize that until you're married, you're not yet married, right? Yeah. For me, actually, personally, even I cannot share my dreams and go. Okay, I can share the direction I want us to go as a couple, but not ile fully, right? To the until we are married. Kuna zingine ni until we are married, right? So actually people should realize that, and there's a difference between marriage
and dating.
And dating, right?
Yeah.
So people don't make mistakes. May save your number is saved as Mama 4. In your boyfriend's nini, or M-Pesa. Your girlfriend has saved you as M-Pesa. I'm a Safari. I'm a Source. Savings account. Right? Because you've treated them as what? As a spouse. And it's just actually dating.
Actually, let me tell you something. Dating is good and marriage is good as well. You see, in this dating period, actually dating period is very nice because it enables you to know your partner well. You see, so actually don't see any problem you taking care of your partner in your dating period.
Yeah.
It is good. It can be bad if you are actually showing, we have side A and side B. It's good when you show both sides, because I can't be treating you so nicely all because I want you, because you're beautiful, because you're so blah 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 and blah. You see, so during this dating period, actually I just prefer, it's nice when I treat you nicely. You see, not because I want to, but because it's something in me. You see, it's something in me. I want to treat you nicely because why? I love you. You see, and then when it comes to marriage, you see, like I've done it in dating. Now when we are married now, I don't have to stop doing this because you're married. You see, you should actually continue doing it. Why? Because this is the character I showed you. You see, I shouldn't be changing. Behind the scene, like we are married, we're in the house, and I'm like, now I want to do anything I want to do. You see, let's continue what we were doing while we were in the dating period. You see, so actually, it's nice if you show your kindness when you're dating, and also when you show it when you're married. You see,
Correct. Actually, kuna something you said, showing your kindness. Actually, there's also that part of engagement where your partner shows that and yes, she is committed. The person you are dating, it has moved from dating to like, yes, I'm committed, and this is the direction we are going, right? That's actually the point of engagement, right? Actually, up on those, maybe you actually put in your much effort to building that relation, right? You put in your effort, you put in your finances, right? But you don't put in your sex. But actually
The thing is, I totally agree with you. The thing is, let dating be dating, let marriage be marriage. Not you're doing things that, like, I'm doing things I'm supposed to do in marriage and we are dating. Like, I'm not
there are
supposed
things,
to
yeah,
do.
definitely.
actually, not all things you should do in dating that you're
Yeah,
supposed to do in
definitely.
marriage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Tracy said, we can say.
What do you think about your girlfriend washing clothes?
Wow. Why will she?
Why is she doing wifely duties to her boyfriend? Wifely duties, and you're just dating.
Actually, okay. For me, I'll advise against that. I'll advise against that.
Okay.
For real.
Against it, okay, no problem. There is this problem that we do face as a young generation, whereby when you start dating, I've already seen a future with you. You see, so like we are in a dating period, and I'm seeing this guy as my husband, I'm seeing this guy as my wife. You see, so that is the moment whereby somebody starts doing wifely duties.
If you're seeing me as if you're seeing me as a spouse, as a wife, then you're supposed to marry me. You're not making me you're making me to do wifely duties to you, and you have not even married. If you want to marry me, just marry me. Don't start saying now that you see me as a wife because you've dated for long, now I should be doing wifely duties for you. If you want me to do wifely duties, then you should marry me. If you don't, I'm not going to do any wifely duties.
Yeah, okay, we have these ladies with the mindset whereby I have to show him what I can do. You see,
There's nothing you are showing. Actually,
I have to show him.
there's
I
nothing
have to show him what I can do. You see, so we say kujitu. You see, like you're like you're like
Hapo utatumiwa.
no, yeah, utatumiwa, yeah.
Kujituma it's kutumiwa.
Utatumiwa, yes, but you'll still have to do like some good things for your man to make him feel nice. I mean, you just I've seen on
Me washing dishes and me washing clothes.
Pardon?
What do you mean by that?
Okay, so let me just say like a lady just calls and then she says, "Oh, hi, how are you? Can I come over your place?" Like, so I'll be like, "What are you coming to do?" You see, anyway, we are dating. You see, so once she comes, she'll be like, "Okay, I've seen you have dirty clothes. Can I actually help you wash them?" You see, should I tell you no because you're not my wife?
No, people, as we were being told earlier, everybody has their love language.
Exactly.
Maybe hers is act of service. She's the one who has volunteered, not you are the one who is pressuring her to do that for you. If she's the one who has volunteered to do so, then let her. But not that you're trying to tell her that since she's your girlfriend, you've dated for 5 years, she's now supposed to do wifely duties. Especially this thing where you date someone for 5 years, 7 years, no commitment, as if it's like a university course. People have graduated, you're still in your relationship, you're not even married.
Yeah, it's
Five
still
five
dating.
years. 5 years.
No, those are just time wasters, by the way.
Someone left secondary school. After 5 years, someone has a job, has a degree.
7 years, someone has already started even PP1. Is it PP1?
I
Is
know.
it PP?
Yeah,
Grade
PP1,
one.
Grade 1, yeah.
I beg, I
Those
beg.
ones,
Grade
yeah.
1, someone has given birth. Someone was pregnant while you started dating. The baby grew, went for playgroup, PP1, PP2, grade 1, grade 2. We are still dating. No commitment, no nothing.
Let me tell you something. Let me talk about that. Let me talk about that. We have something called career demand. You see, as for me, let me say, like, if I'm dating right now, you see, we can date for like 2 years, you see, and or even 3 years. That time, somebody will be actually having a child. Perhaps somebody I finished school with, you see, already has a child, already has a wife. But as for me, because of my career demand and because of my financial, my finances, you see, if they can't allow me marry you, why should I marry you right now? You see, because there is no way I can marry you and I'm not financially stable. How will
Getting money.
Okay,
What are you
that
doing
is
around
why
love and
that
you
is
don't
why
have
I'll
finances?
focus with getting.
Get money first. If you want
It's
to
okay.
be financially stable, focus on that first. Love will come. Love will still find you. Like, love is patient. Love waits and everything. Focus on if that's your goal.
I
Like, your
agree
goal
your
is not
point.
like getting dating, like loving and going for marriage and everything. Your goal is maybe your career advancement and your financial getting financial stable and everything. Focus on that first. If
So,
that
oh,
is your
so-
goal,
Focus on
focus
it.
on that.
We
Because
should-
maybe the other person
Mhm.
feels like they want, like you're wasting time. You're wasting time. Because maybe they are ready and you're just stalling them.
So on that topic, I want our audience to tell us, what do you think of someone washing someone's clothes before marriage? I want you to tell us in the comments. Should you?
Comment
So,
down on the section. What
as
is the
your
question again?
should someone wash someone's clothes or perform marital duties
Okay.
before marriage?
Before they answer
Before-
that. Before they answer. Okay, guys, answer that.
Yeah,
But on what conditions? You see, like, have I told you to wash it or you're the one who has agreed?
Let me
to wash it?
rephrase the question. Should someone, let's say if you're a girlfriend, for example, should someone do wifely duties when you're just a girlfriend? Are you
Yeah.
supposed to do that?
So tell us on the comment as we go for a 5 minutes short break. Kindly don't switch off, and tunataka kuona your comments on that idea. Sawa. All right. Thank you for your time. All right.
Our Father, waiting for heaven, nobody difficult, let it your way you see down. Okay. Brother, what you I beg you, don't be stupid, don't never sick. Let's go. Our Father, waiting for heaven. Nobody difficult, let it your way you see down. Our Baba, we bow to your pattern and we throw a salama, cause now you hold us down. These other gods, with them they carry for pocket. I cannot relate, cause my father is not their widow. These other gods, with them they give for apartment. All of them are worthless, and I just they laugh. Cause my father is bigger than Odo, every Odo, any Odo. Odo, any Odo, all the Odo. Because my father is bigger than Odo, any Odo, every Odo. Odo, Odo, yeah. Odo. Your actions are not accidental. Only you know contestant. Only you for the center. Everything I surrender. You they give me bonanza. Yeah, well, at the mention of your name, oh, and as you step in at the place, oh, every other power go mellow, everywhere go be rearrange, oh, nobody fi say no. Number one, cha cha cha, original abafata, everything go sharp, rap, rap. Only you, I got pata, pata, pata. Our Father, waiting for heaven. Nobody fi collect it your way you see now. Our Baba, we back to your pattern and we throw a salama, cause now you hold us down. These other girls, with them they carry for pocket. I cannot relate, cause my father is not their baby. These other girls, with them they give for apartment. All of them are wanted, and I just they laugh, because my father is bigger than Odo, any Odo, every Odo. I say he's bigger than Odo, 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 every Odo. Because my father is bigger than Odo, any Odo, every Odo. I say he's bigger than Odo, 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 every Odo. Our Father, waiting for heaven. Nobody fi collect it your way you see down. Our Baba, we bow to your pattern and we throw a salama, cause now you hold us down. Our Father, waiting for heaven. Nobody fi collect it your way you see down. Okay. Brother, what you I beg you, don't be stupid, don't never sick. Let's go. Our Father, waiting for heaven. Nobody fi collect it your way you see down. Our Baba, we bow to your pattern and we throw a salama, cause now you hold us down. These other girls, with them they carry for pocket. I cannot relate, cause my father is not their widow. These other girls, with them they give for apartment. All of them are worthless, and I just they laugh. Cause my father is bigger than Odo, every Odo, any Odo. Odo, any Odo, all the Odo. Because my father is bigger than Odo, any Odo, every Odo. Odo, 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 yeah. Odo. Your actions are not accidental. Only you know contestant. Only you for the center. Everything I surrender. You they give me bonanza. Yeah, well, at the mention of your name, oh, and as you step in at the place, oh, every other power go mellow, everywhere go be rearrange, oh, nobody fi say no. Number one, cha cha cha, original abafata, everything go sharp, rap, rap. Only you, I got pata, pata, pata. Our Father, waiting for heaven. Nobody fi collect it your way you see down. Our Baba, we bow to your pattern and we throw a salama, cause now you hold us down. These other girls, with them they carry for pocket. I cannot relate, cause my father is not their baby. These other girls, day forever. Nobody fit collect the chair where you sit down. Our Baba, we badu your bata, and we throw a salama, cause now you hold us down.
Limo Blaze.
You give me purpose, my provider. And when my enemies surround me, got me tied up. When they throw me in the pit inside the fire, you are my God and my King and my Father. Light to my path in the darkness, hope in my heart. When they heart is falling, you reach out and call us. You're the lover of my soul, love is flawless. They don't understand my gardens. Keeping me high, I know they go low. Cause me, I know they solo. It's my gyre and I my body. It's a man I need go. You
it was tantalizing. Hi guys, my name is Caston and I'm with
Austin.
So Austin, how was today's service? Actually today we had Thanksgiving.
I think today was the best Sunday, best service of time of my lifetime. I got blessed. I went to thank my God for what He has done for me for the whole year.
How was the service time?
It was the best. Today was the best day, but today was a day of blessing. Any ilikuwa tu siku poa.
Today I came purposefully to thank God for what is done for the whole year. And for me, it was lively. I was blessed. I have been in Dio for close to 1 year. How my life was and how my life is right now, there has been some positive. For those who really want to come and join us in church for fellowship and worship, waambie wakuje aje na wana get aje. Like where is the church?
Church iko Butere Road. Yeah, you'll find us. It is good. Hii church ni nzuri sana by the way. Yeah, we welcome you all.
We welcome the rest to come and join us at Dio Nairobi, Kenya, so that we can fellowship and worship God together. God bless.
right, welcome back from the short break that we've had. There was a question. Hope you've sent in your comments in the comment section. All right, I would like to know what's our next point of
Okay, so
topic?
our next topic, we are going to talk about some modern trends that are among the youth, and everyone is doing it, which is very toxic also. So we're just going to talk about it, and just allow me to call out some behaviors, because some of this, they just make me get angry in a way. So we're going to talk about ghosting, breadcrumbing, and situationships. So ghosting is cutting off all communications like all of a sudden. And then breadcrumbing is leading someone with small gestures and you have no intention of committing. And then for situationships, it's like a relationship that lacks clear bound, like it doesn't have like a label. You don't know like what you are, you're just there. So what do you think about ghosting?
So hope you've noted down ghosting. I've learned a new word, breadcrumbing.
Yes.
They've said this,
Yeah.
breadcrumbing, and then situationships.
Yes.
Okay. For ghosting, it depends. It depends on how you understand your friend. Let me say your boyfriend or girlfriend. Okay, ghosting is okay. It doesn't depend. Ghosting is bad, right? It's actually toxic, isn't it?
Very toxic.
Toxic. It's toxic. But actually, when someone like fails to reply you after like 9 minutes, 10 minutes,
No, that's
that's not ghosting, right? Even sometimes it can go for 8 hours. That's not ghosting, isn't it?
I think
Ghost-
it's like disappearing, as in taking yourself out slowly by slowly, something like that.
No, like, let's say we've been in communication daily, everything, we're okay, we're just okay. And then all of a
Disappear for 2
sudden,
weeks.
you just cut off all communications. And you know, like, you've not even communicated that you're going to cut off your communication.
Yeah.
So I'm just left overthinking, wondering if you're okay and everything. You've just gone silent. And you know, there are feelings involved, emotions are involved, everything is involved, and then you just cut off like all of a sudden.
Something you said, cutting off
Yes.
the communication.
Yeah.
Like Mazee, you don't receive the calls, atom block, right? That's actually what ghosting means. Okay, for ghosting, when you're ghost, ndo mnajua. But actually, for me, there's a time I was forced to ghost someone. There's a time actually I was forced to ghost someone. That person was toxic.
But did you communicate?
I didn't communicate.
Someone is toxic.
Okay, yeah.
I was forced to actually ghost that person. Actually, that person led me into a very deep, great depression. Nikaona tu wenyewe for that period of mnancheka.
Welcome to Nairobi.
Actually, and actually in that person we were not, as in we were not dating or anything. She was actually just like a friend, right? A friend. So acha tu niseme what happened. So this friend, she moved into a place, right? In our house there's like the SQ, and then there's the main house. So as we usually used to live in the main house, and then she moved into the SQ because she was staying in like Strathmore near a university which was near. So she had to move into that SQ. So what happened is she approached me to befriend me, right? She showed interest in becoming my friend. And me, so that time I had a job, so I didn't have like time for like I can go and hang out with her or everything. I had a job, I had to balance my job and my studies, right? So I told her, okay. I told her we can go to church, right? So it was on a Wednesday. I decided maybe we should like meet with her and maybe try her as a good friend. So nikamwambia, first of all, I wanted to go and shave my hair, so we went up to like Mombasa Road with her to shave my hair, right? And then we came to church, isn't it? You're laughing. So when we came to church, this girl came. Okay, she came. She just watched the church and everything. And because me, I didn't have any time. I was to go to shave my hair, go to church, get to job. It was like my schedule was fixed. So when she came to church and then she left, we left together. And then she told me that church that you're going, it's very demonic. Hey, told me that place it's bad. Okay, at first I listened to her. Then I told her, okay, it's okay. And then I left. From that point, Maze, I ghosted her because those words to get that seed that she had planted out of me. I'm telling you, I just had to ghost her for some time, and then after that, after ghosting her like for 2 weeks, I called her and told her, yeah, I heard what you said, all the things that you said, but I don't believe what you said. I believe that was a lie, right? So sometimes some people find themselves in a toxic relationship or a toxic even friendship, let me say, right? A toxic friendship. And one of the escape is maybe sometimes just ghosting.
Well,
To
okay.
heal.
For ghosting, I feel like what you did, you stood on business, you know, like you stood your ground, you set your boundaries and everything. But the one I am actually angry about is the type of ghosting where someone leads you on, you feel like there's somewhere you're going, you're very interactive with them, you spend every time with them, and all of a sudden, after now, that person knows that you've started falling in love or you feel like there's something there, they cut you off. Like, you've not done anything wrong, you're not the problem, they just cut you off. That's the one I'm talking about. That's the bad one we are calling out today. Not the one for standing on business and setting your boundaries. That one is, saying no is also a form of self-care. That one is very understandable. But the one I am angry about is the one that you just stop talking to. Anyway, let me just continue because I'll just... Yes. Like we've been okay,
1 minute
no
okay,
problem, and
another
then
minute they
that
go.
is narcissistic behavior. You're just
sure.
a narcissist. For real, if you do that, you should just seek help, like mental help.
True. And actually, guys, I have a question. Those who are viewing us from home or wherever you are, actually, what Brother Joshua did, was it nice? Was it good or not? Because Joshua, you had a friend. She's a female friend. You guys came to church, and then later, after doing the 1, 2, 3 in church, you guys went home. The next thing she's telling you is like, you go to a demonic church, you see, and you decided to cut her off. You see, like, I don't need friendship with this girl again, you see, because she has actually planted something in you. You see,
It was actually the way they actually tell you. They don't tell you like as if they are the bad person. They don't tell you like that.
I mean,
As in
they tell you to show you that actually where you're going to is to discriminate. Like
they actually show like they care for you.
Oh, like, don't go
Just
there.
dark manipulation.
It's a bad place. You
Yeah.
see. Okay.
Just
So actually,
manipulating.
for you actually to realize that, and yeah, this is an evil seed that was planted.
Mhm.
You come to a point. For me, actually, when she told me like that,
Mhm.
I was not angry. The time she told me, I was not angry. Actually, she told me before I was going to service.
Yeah.
The next service after bringing her. So she told me after the next service. Before going to the next service. So I just went to the service. So after coming out of the service, I started thinking. When you're just thinking of what was this person saying? Why was she saying
Yeah,
like that?
yeah.
All those things.
Yeah.
Now it's when I realized, wow, this is dark.
Mm.
And for me just to remove that seed, I just had to cut her off
I
and
have
to
a question.
ghost her.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But actually they are different. They are different. The way Lucia said,
Uh-huh.
there are those people who will ghost you. Things have been going well and everything. It's actually that should be actually
okay.
everything is okay. That's actually a sign that you should also cut off that person. If someone just ghosts you for no reason, unless that person maybe was got into an emergency, angeza like even communicates, maybe that's understandable. But but if someone is, actually that means that person's that person maybe even has another girlfriend or someone that they are not interested in you, right?
I'm really interested in you, but before we go to what you see, what you were talking about, because I don't want to leave it. I don't want us to leave it pending. Perhaps somebody has gone through the same thing. You see, did you ask your partner the reason as to why she said that?
Yeah, I asked her.
And then what was what was her?
It was just flimsy excuses. Number one, okay, she was saying her feeling, the way she felt it, the way she.
So for her feeling was off.
Yeah. Her feeling was like off. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
So okay. So whenever once you saw the feeling was off completely, so like now this one, there is no way you can help each other. So you just chose to cut yourself off.
Actually, I
because as for me, if it would have been me actually, I love being persuasive. You see, like I love being persuasive, and if I see that you are not actually yielding to what I want, that is where we now cut off. Like we now draw the lines. You see, because I'll be like, why do you feel this is a demonic church? You see, and I've been fellowshipping here. We only talk of God. You see, there is nothing else that can show that this is a demonic church. You see, we only talk of God. What makes you think so? You see, and then you should have at least tried. As for me, I would have tried looking at background first. You see, because you never know who you're relating with.
Actually, I asked her a background. Like, was she going to any church? She told me she was going to like, I don't know, a Jewish place. It was a very unclear something. Mm-hmm. They don't go on Sundays. They wear some stuff. When she explained to me where she was going, I was like, okay, that's why.
Anyway,
I was like,
leave that aside, yeah.
Okay, actually, the people who helped me to get out of that stronghold, it was my mom. My mom told me. My mom listened actually to what she had said. I told my mom, and she told me, no, this lady, no.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
he
I
told
now
me
get
no,
your point.
no,
So actually what you did was you made a wise step. Actually, yeah, you actually made a wise step. But now what you are talking about here is now whereby somebody decides to disappear. We were happy, we were smiling, we were deeply in love. Oh my gosh, we saw a future.
Setting standards on
but
social
for
we saw a
media.
future.
For me, my question
And
is,
then they just go.
And then you just disappear out of the blues. You're like the next thing, and then they add them with blue ticks. You send a text, blue tick. Or you send a text, the next thing you see is a grey tick. But then you see someone is online. You're like, Kwani, what is
What
going
about
on?
the one they're not texting you, they're not calling back, and then they're the first one to view your stories on social media and your status?
okay, that's actually just a sign. Me, I can't force myself. If someone just ghosts you, just give them the same energy they are giving you. I mean,
Match the
actually,
energy.
if someone just ghosting you just shows that maze wamekuona kama pala. They just see you as they just see you as foolish. Some of the time.
Let me address the nation. Where's my camera? Let me say this respectfully. Stop ghosting people just because you feel like it. Don't stop ghosting people like just because you are no longer interested. If you're no longer interested, just say. Instead of ghosting is a very childish behavior. It is a very loutish behavior. It is a very demure, not demure at all. It's not a demure behavior. It's very oblivious, by the way. It's very puerile. It's not a good behavior. When you're ghosting someone, it is very childish. It is very frivolous. Do not if you're not interested in someone, just tell them you're not interested instead of just playing games as if you're small children. If you're like a small child, of which a small child is not supposed to be dating, that one can be understandable. But you're an adult and you're just ghosting past like someone. You've involved someone that has involved their feelings and everything, and you just decide you don't want to talk to them again. Instead of just communicating, you just ghost them. Like it's very uncouth
childish,
behavior.
right?
Yeah,
And
it's not a
actually,
good behavior.
It's good to communicate on such a situation. You see, like if I don't love you, like bro, I don't love you. You see, so actually, they give out false hopes, by the way, because we have those people who actually take relationships seriously. They really take relationships seriously. Like you cannot come, out of nowhere, and then you see the only place you can play is with my heart. You see, you're like. We share out on things that are like we share out on things that actually talk of the future, like tomorrow, you see. But then actually as we are sharing this, few days later we're like, you're not calling me as you used to call, you're not texting me as you used to text. And then if I call you, in fact there is a way in your call, if you call, they're asking you like, where have you called me? And then the excuse they'll give is, I'm busy, I'll call you later. You see, you're not going straight to the point and at least telling this person through the call, like, you know what, I saw like we couldn't take each other anywhere, so I just decided to cut myself off. You see, it's very nice when you actually speak it out, because it shouldn't be hidden. By the way, me, if somebody does for me that, it's actually not a nice thing. Actually, have you gone through that before?
Let me not talk about it, because if I talk about it, we'll all start crying.
Actually,
here.
Joshua, what about you?
Ghosting.
Yeah.
He's the one who ghosted.
Oh yeah, he's the one.
Yeah.
I was the ghoster, but as it has been said, do not ghost.
Yeah,
it's very
not
prevalent.
It's very, very
But
bad.
Yeah.
I experienced this before.
Very oblivious.
I experienced
But actually,
this
if someone
earlier.
is ghosting you, for a girl, let me just tell you the truth. If a guy ghosts you, like that guy, for guys, they know when they are serious with a relationship, and if you ask that guy about that girl who they are ghosting, they'll tell you, that girl is for something else, right? they know this one is for this one, this girl is for this one, and this girl is for this one. So they know, I'll talk to her well.
Okay, instead of ghosting me, face me like the man you are.
They can't. Let me tell you.
Face me like the man you are, and then you tell me you don't want to do this anymore. Why are you ghosting?
That's better, because it is childish.
What's
Why are you going
the
around
worst that can
bush?
happen? You can tell me, no, you're not going to beat me. Like, you're not going, like, the worst you can do is just say, no, you cannot. Like, you're not going to beat me, you're not going to do anything. Just say it. I'm not even going to beat you when you tell me, like, you don't. It's better you tell someone before, like, feelings get involved and everything. Just tell them, like, so that they can know.
And actually, as we continue, we have had a lot of cases whereby people are dying because of relationship. People are committing suicide because of relationship. And actually, some of the issues are these that we are discussing today. You see, some of you at home have a brother who actually committed suicide because of love. You see, those are people who actually take love very serious. You see, that is why before we took a break, we were saying that you should learn how to understand your partner. You see, there are some characters you won't force me to have. You see, and because of this thing called, how is it called? That ghosting or something like that. Many have committed suicide. Many, they feel like they are not giving their best. You see, we are those people who are too emotional. Any little thing can make them do something stupid. You see, which actually results to, we call them a toxic relationship. You
But
see,
just remember, when your value is not attached to anybody. Everybody came into this world alone. Your destiny does not depend on that man. Even if he leaves you, you're not supposed to. Yes, you're allowed to. You're allowed to process your emotions.
Exactly, yeah, sure.
You're allowed to feel the heart, but don't take it a step further. Just know that your destiny, your life is not attached to that person, and your life will still continue to go on, even if he's not there. You just have to move on. Just move on. Just as much as it hurts, as much as it's going to be painful and everything, life still goes on. So, yeah, just move on.
And there's something when you mentioned that, people look for fulfillment in a relationship. Some people think when I just get into marriage or when I just get a girlfriend or boyfriend, I'll be happy. But actually, it's we are inverting our priorities, right? Our fulfillment, number one, comes from God. As a youth, what are you doing for God? Are you passionate about God, right? That's the number one fulfillment, right? Number two, before marriage, your friends, your family, right? But actually, number one, you should realize that relationships and marriage is not a guarantee of fulfillment if your priorities are wrong, right? If your priorities are wrong. So, yeah, I think we've covered that.
But let me tell you guys something. It is so foolish, like very, very foolish, for you to kill yourself because someone has ghosted you. You see, people usually say we have a lot of handsome men outside here. We have a lot of beautiful women outside here. One shouldn't give you stress, by the way. Have a happy life. I mean, life is too short. Enjoy your life. You see, if you see someone is stressing you and you feel like you still want to continue the relationship, move aside, continue with another person. You see, there's no need for you to like stick in one relationship with one person. If somebody doesn't love you, accept it. Move on. You see, I mean, I can't be stressed with another girl. Like, Sasa, we have this one here. You see, she's beautiful, of course. You see, but when, like, let me say we're in a relationship. You see, if she starts stressing me, like, or even ghosting me, leave alone stressing. Let's speak of ghosting me in our relationship. I won't even bother. You see, because there are other women beautiful outside there like her. You see, you'll have a chance. In fact, this will give you, I mean, and guys, never make a mistake of marrying too early. Never make that mistake because you'll regret later. Perhaps, you guys fell in love because of, how is it called? Physical appearance. You see, you never took time to actually analyze what should be analyzed when getting engaged in a relationship. You see, so you guys end up fighting in a relationship, quarreling because you never knew how your partner was. You see, so like when that happens, it actually brings a relationship to an end, and it won't end very nicely. It will end very, very bad. Recently, we had a case of whereby a man stabbed the wife. You see, a man stabbed the wife. Why? For reasons not known or for reasons known. You see, and at some point when you were dating with this guy, did you ever know that he will come and stab you one day? No. You never knew that. You never knew that would happen. So for such not to happen in your life, make sure you get to analyze your partner very well. You see, yeah, that's what it is.
Have you people ever experienced this thing when, let's say, you're not sure if the person who, like, the potential person, like if he's the one who is supposed to be in your life, and then you go on your knees and say this simple prayer, simple, powerful prayer, like you tell God, like, if this person is not supposed to be in my life, just remove them, or just show me a sign. I'm telling you, there's no prayer that gets answered faster than that one.
Very true, by the way.
You start seeing the signs immediately. Like, that prayer is a very powerful prayer. Like, if you make that prayer, you have to be ready of what is going to come. Like, if the person is not you, if the person is not supposed to be like in your life, and you tell God to show you, and God shows you, just see the signs and just accept and just move on.
And about that point, guys, there's that one, it really holds alone a lot, yeah? Because as you are praying, we also have the enemy. You see? Because you can be praying, God, I pray that if this is not the right man for me, take him away. You see? The enemy is always also there listening. You see? He's there listening. And he will do anything that will cause distraction in your relationship. You see? That is why it's always good enough to actually pray for your relationship. Commit your relationship to God, you see, so that you can have the right answer. Because you will end up losing whatever you are to get. Why? Because you thought that as I was praying, God answered my prayer, and something bad happened. God answered my prayer, and God pushed that person away. Meanwhile, we stay, everything is spiritual. Everything is spiritual, as in life, everything is spiritual. The devil is also trying his level best to make sure a relationship doesn't work. Perhaps that relationship will have taken you far. But because he was there, you are talking to your God. Yes, you're talking to your Father. But there is somebody who has come to kill, steal, and destroy. This person has come to steal your marriage. He has come to destroy your marriage. You see? And then, because you're somebody, it's good enough if you're spiritual enough in our relationships. You see? It's good if we commit our relationship to God, because God communicates in different ways. You see, He really communicates in different ways, and it can actually be better if you have a spiritual parent. Like in the church you go to, like us, we are privileged. We have spiritual parents. They can be able to tell you, this person is right and this person is not right. You see, and therefore, when making such prayers, be very, very, very careful for you to listen to the right voice.
Yeah.
You see, it's not like when something little happens, you're like, oh God, my prayer has been answered. You see.
But sometimes for you to actually know this person is not the right person, sometimes there are usually some signs that you see.
Yeah,
and you're
always
no.
signs.
Let's say, for example, when this person maybe was masking their true their identity, and then all of a sudden they just show their real identity, and you're like, no, this is not for me.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I usually like quoting, let me read for you, 1 Corinthians 13 verse 4, which it talks about love. It says, love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices within the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Sometimes when you are confused, when you're not really sure about if this is the right person, I usually use this to tick the boxes. Is it patient? Is it kind? If you follow what God is saying, the scriptures and everything, and if you want to be in a relationship that pleases God, you have to be in line with what the Bible says.
Really, yeah, it's true. And I've used it as well to actually tell if this is the right partner or not. You see. But while making that prayer, there are those that you can see, these are prayer answered. You see, somebody starts revealing, actually the true character is what is always being portrayed after the prayer. The character of that person, their character tells a lot. You see, you'll be able to say no, this person a good person, or this person is a bad person. You see, so through character, you'll be able to know. You see, because at first they'll be, love is blind. Love is blind. Love is very, very blind. So you'll be seeing someone is very handsome. The words he's giving out are persuasive. Or someone is very, very beautiful. Words given are very persuasive. You see, they're you. So you're I really love this guy. I can't leave this person. And then now you go and make your prayer. Lord, I thank you for this person you brought in my life. You see, I see a future with this person. And then you say, but God, if this person is not meant for me, Lord, take him away. Take him or her away. You see, one major thing that will be reflected is the character. The character is what speaks. And after that, you'll be able to know if he's the right person or not.
Actually, on that, before we go to the next segment, you realize that one of the ways to realize if someone is for you or not for you, just look at your relationship with God. That's why when you pray,
exactly, yeah, sure.
When you pray, actually, signs starts showing,
yeah,
isn't it? So number one, it shows that your relationship with God is the number one priority, isn't it? And actually, when you have probably you have a friend, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a partner, if your relationship with God is dwindling, because of your girlfriend or boyfriend or your partner, it actually shows, Maze, it actually shows you're going in the wrong path, right? But if it is increasing, it shows the vice versa.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I think we've covered that. What's on the
Now we are going to talk about red flags.
red flags?
Yeah.
Red flags,
You know,
yeah.
red flags are the warning signs and behaviors that a relationship is unhealthy or toxic. So, yeah, there are different signs that you always see when you're in a relationship, which terms the relationship as unhealthy or toxic. And sometimes you have to know those red flags or call them out or try to address them. Because if you don't,
Things will turn out to be bad.
So one of the red flags, I saw a video on TikTok. There's this girl who was saying that if her boyfriend told her that if she sees her having a lot of male friends around her, it's actually a very big red flag. For instance, there's this thing you see. Someone has a girlfriend, right? And then this girlfriend has a best friend who's a boy. Actually, let me ask a question to you. Can you say, is it a red flag or is it okay?
That's a very good point of discussion. And Lucy, I would love you to answer that first.
So the question was, the question is, if you have there was this girl who was a boyfriend, right? And then the boyfriend told her that seeing her with many male friends, even a best friend with a male, it's actually a very big red flag. So what's your opinion on that?
okay, I feel like with the type of era we are in right now, especially Nairobi, like people are usually very uncomfortable when they see that you have a best friend that is of the opposite gender, because they feel like maybe sometimes they feel like what you can do with that gender, like you can just do with them as the boyfriend and the girlfriend. And sometimes most people who think that, sometimes they're just insecure. If you trust your person, you might actually just decide to trust them. But if you have insecurities, you're not going to be comfortable. So maybe some people say it's a red flag for them because maybe they'll start overthinking, they'll start doubting the relationship and everything. But I think it depends on someone. For example, like me, I've been brought up with brothers. I'm the only girl. So maybe if I choose to spend a lot of time with male with the opposite gender, because that's the gender I've been raised with, someone might see it like a red flag. But for me, they're like my brothers, you get. But so I feel like you have to communicate with your partner and let them know that it's not like it's what's the name? Like there's nothing else romantic or anything. It's just friendship, and yeah, just that. Nothing more, nothing less. So if they choose to trust you, they will. If they choose to continue seeing it as a red flag, then I think maybe that it's not going to work, honestly.
Yeah, actually, there's this thing which even for me, I don't agree with. A girl having a best friend as a male best friend. But like for real, that's actually a red flag. Okay, you have a boyfriend and then you have another guy who's your male best friend. I actually see a lot of girls with like that kind of mentality, but actually that's a big red flag. It means that I don't know, man. Okay, for the male gender, actually, as we know, it's rare for a guy to have a best friend who is a girl, except that girl is a friend.
It's not rare.
The girlfriend.
It's not rare.
Okay, tell me, Caston.
Yeah, but actually, it's a big red flag. You see, I once was in a relationship like that one, whereby the girl has a female, has a male best friend. You see, and whatever was happening there, whatever was happening there, you see, you're like, at the end of the day, if you don't give her attention, who is going to give her the attention? You see, I mean, best friend, I mean, like, why am I not your best friend? You see, because if I love you,
Best friend is
I should,
actually your-
exactly.
yeah.
If I love you, I should be your best friend. I should be your closest person. You see, you have an issue. You see, like, you should be sharing your problems with me. You see,
For instance, let me
Like-
give it. Let me give this question. Someone has a wife, okay, a couple, a married one, right? A wife and a husband, and then you find the wife has a best friend who is a guy. How does that happen?
how will you guys be living?
How does that
let me
happen?
tell you, I feel like
I am married to you, and you have a best friend.
You have a best friend.
But
tell them
you
your
knew before you
there's
got
nothing
you
like-
knew that the guy has a best friend like of the opposite gender, because first of all, before you start to know someone, there's that talking stage that you're usually in.
Exactly.
So you know very well that this person has a best friend of the other gender. If you don't address it before you date, and then you now start addressing it after now you've started dating, you already saw the red flag, but you're just starting. You're just waiting to see how red the flag,
Addressing it is
how
not-
how
addressing
red
it-
it gets.
Addressing it is not the issue. The thing is, we have common sense. You see, me and you are in a relationship, you see, and then we now get married. You're still calling another boy your best friend, and we are in a marriage.
But before you got married, you knew you were getting married to this person that has a best friend of the opposite gender. You should have addressed it before you went on with the marriage. And if it's not possible, you just cut it off like that. You already knew the red flag. You saw
Don't
the
you
red
have
flag, but you
feelings?
chose
Don't
to
you
ignore.
have feelings to
you know,
know?
you have feelings,
like, yeah.
but you chose to ignore the red flags. But now, as you progress later, now it's like now you're starting to see how dark the red is. Now you're like, no, we can't do this anymore. But you're the one who you knew you enabled it.
If
You
you knew-
didn't call that person out. You didn't address it. You didn't say you're not comfortable with it. You just continued with the flow. And then now when it gets uncomfortable, you're like, no, you can't. But you
correct.
already knew
I just
from the start. You
I
knew.
just fell in love with you.
Eh?
Joshua is your best friend. Yeah? And then we are really attracted to each other. Don't you have feelings that when I'm in a deep relationship with this guy, he'll actually feel bad because all my attention will be going to this other guy?
Did you address it?
No, okay. You
Eh.
told me he's your friend.
Eh.
He's your best friend. Automatically, let me just say I addressed it. I told you, like, you know what? Actually, I don't see if this will be good when you have a male best friend and then I'm here with you. Like, what am I for? You see, how are you taking me? Like, what are you then? In fact, let me ask this question. Who is a best friend, by the way?
Why didn't you address it in the dating time?
Why didn't you?
Because
you're waiting
I've now
until
said we assume I addressed it. But before we continue, who is this? I mean, what are you benefiting from a best friend?
See, personally, for me, if someone came to me, a girl, and tell me I have a girlfriend, and then she tells me this guy is my best friend, that relationship imeisha hivyo. Hivyo tu.
Yeah, if you're not
Actually,
if
imeisha
you,
tu hivyo.
you know, like you,
For
you
me,
just have,
Ayezi Isha.
Was I
But-
not your best friend?
Ayezi Isha as for me, Ayezi Isha. But
Was I not
okay,
your-
me kitu ilinitoa, sorry, I'm sorry. Something that really removed me from such a relationship is, you see, like the stages you were talking about, that stage of, how is it called? The one for, whereby somebody goes, you see, that stage, I was in such a state. Because of problems here and there. You see, so actually the person who was taking more time, because actually social media is a very bad place. You see somebody texting the best friend, I mean, they in fact even post each other. And then the comment section is another thing that really kills your heart. You see, in such a situation, do you want to tell me this girl never had a heart to at least know, like, wait, I'm in a relationship, I shouldn't be commenting on silly things? You see, those are some things that really kill a relationship today.
what kind of comments, like lovey-dovey?
Yeah, something like that. let's talk
that
of something
person
like
doesn't
that.
respect you. That person doesn't view you like a
Exactly.
boyfriend or anything. Because sometimes when you start dating or you're committed somewhere else, there are things you cannot do.
Yeah.
So maybe you are maybe you are the one who was the third wheel. Maybe you are the side
I was the third
piece.
party.
Yeah, maybe. Because sometimes we usually see the red flags, but most of the times we choose to ignore. And when we ignore, you see, like, some people just wait to see how the red gets. Like, for example, let's say, let's use like colors from the lightest to the darkest. For example, you see a red flag, but it doesn't appear like really like a red flag. You choose to ignore because you're just focusing on that person. Like, sometimes you can be deeply
At a change.
deeply like at a change, like I'll just
change.
exactly like
I will
some
change him.
I will make sure he's the person I
I'll
want
change
to.
him.
Yeah.
and then like in that situation you're
Let's
like,
continue pushing.
this is not like a red flag, it's like pink. Pink is also a shade of red.
It's a shade of red.
And then you continue, and then it becomes pitch red. When it becomes pitch red, you just ignore, because pitch, pink, same was up. Then it goes and becomes scarlet red. When it becomes scarlet red, you still ignore, and then it becomes crimson red. When it becomes crimson red, you're like, maybe he'll change. Now you're like in that situation, like, I've noticed this red flag, but let me continue talking to that person, maybe he'll change. Then the red turns to vermilion. Now that's when you see the red flags. And when you see the red flags, like, your partner has already noticed that you've seen the flaws. Now they start things like love bombing. Now when they love bomb you, like, you're not even focusing on the red flag, you're focusing on the gifts and everything. Now you see ruby red. Ruby red, sometimes this tones the rubies. Like, ruby red is also like a darker shade of the vermilion. So like you see ruby red and you're like, this is like jewelry, it's sparkling, because I cannot see past the gifts. I'm just seeing the red flag. We are going to deal with it later. And then it continues to become like darker and darker. And then when it becomes darker, you still continue to ignore. Then that's when character development is on your back. It's like you're here, character development is here. It's just waiting for the right time to attack. So it turns to wine red. So the character development is just drinking the wine. That wine red is just drinking the wine and doing push-ups, just waiting for you. And then after that, it turns to burgundy, and then maroon, and then oxtail red, and then finally dark red. Now when you've seen all the shades of red, now you've seen how dark the red flag can be. By the time you're now trying to get out of the relationship or trying to make amends and everything, is now too late, because you've already enabled all those behaviors from the start of the red till now it becomes darker.
You say there's burgundy red.
There's burgundy, then maroon, it's just a shade of red.
Okay.
So some people want to see all the shades of red because before now they make like a final decision.
Actually, I think I've discovered a red flag detector. I've invented one. Should I tell you guys?
Yeah.
You have to pay for it. For the red flag detector. Okay, the red flag. Okay, for me, I always see one of the ways you can detect a red flag. For me, is your brother and sister. If you have a brother, if you have a sister. For instance, for me, for my sister, I can actually tell them within the first like 1 week of just knowing their boyfriend or their boyfriend. For my sister, I can tell them this guy doesn't love you, or this guy loves you. They can actually just tell you, And even for me, if my sister tells me I don't have a good feeling about this girl, for that girl, her chances they're just done with. So for me, I think for you to detect a red flag, number one, God. You said when we ask God will start giving you signs. Your brother and sister, they can actually just tell you the truth. This person likes you, this person does not. Because for me, I cannot know if a girl is behaving like sheepishly, but a fellow girl, my sister can tell me, this one, I don't know, right? My brother can tell me, your brother can tell you, right? So also your parents, isn't it? But before even after you reach to your parents, your brother and sister, they can just tell you. If you actually have a brother and sister, or a sister, if you are a girl you have a brother, or you are a guy you have a sister, they can actually just tell you, Mazi, this person is, So tell me.
Yeah, actually, I'm looking at this place. I'm seeing we have several red flags. Let me talk with the general one. Lack of trust. Another one is controlling behavior. Another one is poor communication, disrespect, unequal effort, manipulation, anger issues, lack of support, and incompatibility. You see? And I want us to talk about controlling behavior. Or let me start from this first one, which is lack of trust, whereby there is frequent lies, secrecy, or inability to rely on your partner. You see, I mean, a relationship is like a platform whereby, it's a platform that people used to take all their feelings and emotions to. You see, if I'm feeling bad, I'll go and sit down and tell my partner, like, you know what, today I've had a bad day, so and so has happened, you see. But now it comes to a point whereby we used to communicate, but right now, you're now not communicating. There's silence, you see. Let's talk of, there's silence. I mean, the way you used to share things, you no longer share things the way you used to share a long time ago, you see. So this is a major red flag when it comes to a relationship, because you'll be like, now what is happening? You see, because once you gain trust, but now there's no trust. You can't even trust me with something very little. What actually made that happen? You see, and another thing is controlling behavior, whereby there is excessive jealousy, monitoring, or trying to isolate you from friends and family. You see. Can we just talk about that? Like the controlling behavior stuff.
I feel like for me, controlling behavior is kinda it's like a narcissistic behavior. Cause there's a form of controlling. Sometimes you want to there are things like you want to take control, like let's say if you're a man and everything, but there's one that you overstep. You become too controlling, you become too jealous, too possessive.
Yeah.
And then now when you're controlling like that, now you become like a gaslighter, you become manipulative. I feel like that is just like a narcissistic behavior which cuts across all genders. If someone does that, they need to seek therapy. They're not even supposed to be dating. They're supposed to know narcissistic behavior is like a mental illness. They're supposed to seek help, not coming to bring you no peace, they found you you are well and everything. Now they're trying to control you. Now they're trying to gaslight you. They're trying to make you not to have peace. They're trying to make you overthink. They're trying to make you seem like you're a crazy person, like you're not, your feelings cannot be justified. That's like a very big walking red flag. And it's really a sign of a toxic relationship. Because if you notice all of that, and then you continue just accommodating the behavior and enabling them, it now becomes worse than that. And that's how people get these traumas and the trauma bonding and everything. You saw it, you chose to ignore it, and then now it becomes hard for you to even control the relationship, because now you don't even have a say in your relationship.
Okay. So at some point, this stuff concerning controlling behavior. I can decide and control someone after noticing something. You see, there are some other red flags we've mentioned, which will make actually another person monitor another person, so that he or she can be able to see is what I've heard actually what is happening, you see, or is what I've seen, is it actually what is happening, you see. because here I can see that there is excessive jealousy, you see, and because I can guess on it's like, you know, my partner has so and so. I mean, she's usually seen with so and so. You see, so like I'll really want to know who's this person. You see, because kind of I can support that, like you monitoring your partner so that you may be able to find out the truth, because you can't jump into a conclusion without actually knowing the truth.
Why didn't you ask first?
I'll ask you, by the way, and if you've told me, and
Play FBI.
yeah,
No,
exactly,
you're not the
I
FBI,
now
like-
become the detective then,
Uh-huh.
you see, so that I can be able to know the truth, like, okay, what is really happening here? Because, okay, you've told me, but then later, I'm still getting information from other people. That is why I said impartation by association. See, like, there are some things others can tell you which can ruin your relationship. So you'll get to know the truth. I mean, what is going on? I mean, what is going on that I don't know? You see, actually, that one is allowed in a relationship at some point. And if you see this is something bad going on, you choose to actually walk out. If you find out, like, I asked something and she never told me the truth. You see, so the only option I have, I have to step out. You see, yeah. And then now we also talk about something known as poor communication. Another big red flag.
Before we go to poor communication,
Yeah.
you said something. Impartation by association.
Yes.
Actually, I've been sometimes, you know, even though you are a kid or you're not yet married,
Yeah.
when you monitor most relationship, you realize that they fall on depending on the association. You find someone in a marriage, someone is married, but her friends are single, some are divorced. Most of her friends are divorced, single. They're just, you know, definitely you'll struggle in your marriage because the words your friends will be imparting into your mind. Men are dogs, men are just useless, men are this. For me, I've actually been monitoring some of relationship of my close relatives, people close to me, and I've realized that the people that they associate with really matters. If for a guy you associate with guys who just believe in promiscuity, even though you had a faithful life, right? You'll find yourself struggling with the relationship. I think also that applies even before marriage, right? It actually applies for us, yeah. So you've talked about communication. Kindly elaborate.
Okay, so yeah, we have a lot of points here, and actually, guys, let me just say this for those who are viewing at home, we have a lot of red flags that you guys know about, and as you guys fall in love, as you guys get engaged in a relationship, I want you to always take time and understand your partner. That is one thing you should do. Take time and understand your partner. Never rush into a relationship, by the way. Never rush, because you'll later find out that you made the wrong decision. And after making the wrong decision, who will be the one hurting? It will still be you, right? So you guys really have to make the right decision. And also, because I don't feel like we've really tackled this thing very well, but I believe that with the little thing we've shared, you'll be able to it will at least open up your mind. You see, know that you should never put your hopes into one person. Never put your hopes into, as long as you're in a dating period, never put your hopes into one person. I mean, stretch out. I mean, don't believe in, like I can say, believe in that guy, but stretch out onto others. You see, I mean, also people take dating like when we are dating, we don't have a chance to communicate with others. I mean, socialize with people out here. You see, socialize with people. It's good to also know and get information of how you can make your relationship flow. You see, because that one is actually what we are doing. How can we help others make their relationship be a good relationship? Yeah. So we have a lot to talk about here concerning the red flags. You see, and we actually can't finish all of them right now.
And on that point of poor communication, I saw an article which says that one of the biggest cause of divorce in marriages is poor communication of what you expect on your partner, right? Poor communication on your expectations. That's actually has been statistically been the greatest cause of divorce in most marriages, right? But it also applies to before marriage. You should actually communicate your expectation. For instance, the ghosting example, that was actually an expectation not spoken, right? That person maybe was not interested but never spoke it, isn't it? So actually, poor communication, one of the things that ruins marriages, ruins relationships, ruins even close friendships, not even only relationships, but even friendships, is poor communication. Yeah, so...
And also, there is one that, do you have to comment on that?
Something that you said about not rushing in a relationship, and then I remembered something in the lines of, most people, let's say when they've left a relationship, there's this saying they say, like, kuoga na kurudi soko. Like, some people, like, they start, they've ended a relationship, and then after 2 days, they've already moved on. They've not even processed the relationship that they've broken off. They've not even processed the feelings.
Yeah.
They don't even know their weaknesses. They don't even know. For a relationship to break, there has to be a reason.
Yeah,
like if you are also part of the problem, you have to sit down, analyze yourself, so that you don't enter into the next relationship with all your problems. Because that's how you can find that you have like a pattern of trauma bonding, because you left a trauma bonded relationship, then you went immediately to another one, but you've not addressed like what led to that trauma bonding. And then the same things that you are in that relationship with, it's like, you see the way when you move out of a house, you move out with everything, like everything like that. So like you've not even processed, you don't know, like this is like something that you have to change, something that you have to, like, the next time if you had like an abusive person, and abusive is it's not just physical, it can be emotional, it can be mentally, like you have to set your boundaries, you have to stand on business. If you're not willing to do that, you just go and just start a new relationship and you've not even set your boundaries, you're still going to find yourself in the same cycle over and over, because you've not decided to change. You just moving on with the flow. You don't even want to acknowledge and process your heart and move on and wait for, sometimes even you can be telling God to give you signs, like to show you signs, like maybe you're ready for marriage and everything. God shows you the signs, but since you did not process your traumas, did not process your heart and everything, you're not going to see past that, because you're always going to be like in a victim mentality. Let's say God shows you a sign, you see the sign, you're not willing to go for it because you're like, my last relationship was like this is going to happen. But if you decide to stay and just reflect on yourself, and when you're ready to now move on, because if you go on with that same heart, it's not going to work. It's just going to be like a cycle. I'm sorry to say this, but like, let's say a cycle of abuse. If you don't stand on business, if you don't call out other behaviors, let's say like a red flag, you see like a red flag that is coming, you don't address it, and then later by the time you notice like this thing is draining you, now you want to get out, but you're too attached. You have to know before you get deeper into the relationship. If you don't do that, the more you're going to not process the trauma and the hurt and everything. You're just going to find yourself doing the same cycle over and over again until you decide to break it and say like, enough is enough.
Yeah. Actually, Kirsten had something to say on that.
About it?
About carrying over what you had in your past relationship.
Yeah. I actually said it earlier, whereby it was something that Senior Prophet TB Joshua saying. You cannot move on to another relationship And another relationship cannot work if you left the previous relationship wounded. You see, because all the pain you left with on the other side, you will come with it again into this relationship. Yeah. So you should make sure that before you settle in another relationship, you are actually mentally you're okay. Spiritually you're okay. You see, physically you're okay. You see, and also, you should be able to be in a mood of acceptance.
Yeah.
You see, accept it that this is what happened and I have to move on with life. And guys, don't you dare try rushing into a relationship. Otherwise, character development will kill some people outside here. Character development. And especially with Nairobi, Kenyan men, with women. With character development, you'll be shown wonders.
Yeah,
so there's something I also just want to talk about a bit before you continue. It's also abuse. You see, abuse. That one is a very big red flag. And abuse it talks of a lot. No, because recently we've had women actually going outside to protest because of what is happening to other women outside here, women and men. Conflict in relationships. You see, that is something that should be addressed and we should be able to actually look out on. Yeah.
So we will actually touch on that probably on our next podcast. So guys, I want you in the comments, tell us what you want us to touch on about relationships in the next podcast. We want to see your opinions, your comments on this topic. All right. So in conclusion, the number one thing is God, right? Tumesema tunafaa kuheal spiritually, we should heal emotionally. Tumesema if you have a friend and you realize after having that friend, your relationship with God is just dwindling, it actually means that friend maybe was not even for you, right? But if your friend, after you have a friend and your relationship with God is growing, right? So Maze, I want you guys also to be part of us, part of Youth Alive. Join us as we serve God. So Lucy has a memory verse, has a verse to tell us something that will build your spirit. Yeah, kindly.
Mine is just to sum up everything that we've been talking about. And my verse today, let's say when you're looking at relationships, and sometimes you might be confused and you're like telling God to give you like a sign and everything. I just want you to remember the verse, 1 Corinthians verse 14 verse 33, which says, "For God is not a God of confusion, but of peace." So if your relationship brings you confusion, disorder, and everything, just know that is not from God. God is a God of order. And for you to know that this relationship is serving you, you're not going to be confused. You're not going to have anxiety. You're not going to overthink. It's just going to flow. You're going to have that peace that is going to come, and you know that this is the right one. And if you're in a relationship that does not serve you, a relationship that is not, you feel like you're not going anywhere, you feel like it's not, God is not the one backing it up, and you feel like, sometimes when he has talked about abuse is not only physical. There are usually a lot of forms of abuse, and if you recognize them, you just know that it's time to walk away. So I really hope that you've learned a lot from everything we've spoken about today. This was a very complex topic, and everybody had different views on everything.
Yeah, sure.
But at the end of the day, we've disagreed to agree. To agree.
But we've agreed God is number one, right?
Yeah.
That's the agreement.
He has to be the foundation in the relationship.
God is actually the foundation.
Yeah,
Correct.
and,
If God is not backing it up, then
God is not a God of confusion, but a God of peace and order, right? Yeah. So I hope you've had a good time. Hope you've enjoyed the podcast. I want you to share the link, share to your friends, share to your family. All right. So I'd like us to conclude with a word of prayer, right? All right, let's pray. Father, we pray We commit the audience. We commit everyone at home, everyone listening to this podcast. We commit them to your hands, my Father. Let your word minister to them, O God. Let your spirit, wherever they are, minister to them, my Father. And let it not be flesh. Let it not be the word of man. But Father, let your spirit change our hearts, O God. We pray for them wherever they are. Lead them in your truth and by your spirit. In the name of Jesus Christ. We give you praise and thanks.
Amen.
In Christ Jesus' name, amen. So thank you guys for joining in. See you on the next podcast. Sijui kama Catherine uko na anything or you guys have anything kabla tumalize?
Let's see each other on the next podcast. Festive season for everyone, as we prepare to go for Christmas. And yeah, Merry Christmas to you
God
all.
be with you. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, by the way.
Happy festivities.
Happy
Festive
festivities.
season, guys. Yeah. Bye.
All right, bye.
Every day when I pray goes my Father's way. Obeying to what Jesus said. By his blood my sins are laid. Can I give him what I value? So now, Lord, I can't get enough from you. I wanna stay here, not gonna move if you and I come in with me. I'm busting the move in your presence, cause I am your child and I know you rejoice in me. I'm approaching your throne with some confidence. It ain't your conference if you don't come to this. You fed my spirit in the desert, now I can go preach to the lost what your freedom is. My home is in heaven forever, cause Jesus is king and nothing that can ever miss. Welcome to the brighter day. Jesus is the King of Kings, no worries come our way. We cross some rocky roads, look around now, it's all okay. We never lost our faith. Christ is life and death is gain, we never lost our way. Welcome to the brighter day. Jesus is the King of Kings, no worries come our way. We cross some rocky roads, look around now, it's all okay. We never lost our faith. Christ is life and death is gain, we never lost our way. Yeah. Guarantee that you can see the state of me. Oh, I'm in need of your touch, that's so divine. I follow your design, my heart you will refine. So I follow Elion. Composure, you need a soldier, Lord, I got this. To take your freedom to the heat and you know that I got this. All that I will intertwine, I'll be the branch, you're the vine. My life is a miracle, no individual could ever try to deny. Welcome to the brighter day. Jesus is the King of Kings, no worries come our way. We cross some rocky roads, look around now, it's all okay. We never lost our faith. Christ is life and death is gain, we never lost our way. Welcome to the brighter day. Jesus is the King of Kings, no worries come our way. We cross some rocky roads, look around now, it's all okay. We never